Bro, I'm dead after this latest episode of Combatants LV Dispatch. The party trick was, something else. It caught me off guard because the screenshot that I just used both in the thumbnail and for the intro, there's literally full-on dick before it gets more censored. Like, the blur's there, but it's very visible, and the man's packing some heat. That's the best way to put it. And you can't take these characters anywhere. And the fact that the princess is willing to send your ragtag team of lunatics to negotiate for water because you don't want to say the phrase that Agent 6 said it to. So you put yourself at risk here. In doing so, you end up creating a war, and you can't even blame the man for starting a war after that party trick. And then, instead of once again just using the phrase, because the king just upped and got out of there after everything, you send him on yet again another dangerous mission. This show is so stupid and it rolls with it, and I absolutely love it. Every single week, there's at least one moment that is so overboard that just has me rolling, and a little inside knowledge. So where my computer setup is in my living room. So when I'm watching these shows, a lot of times my fiance is like on the couch, and she has a worse and more perverted humor than myself. So she'll be looking over sometimes, and she'll just catch the worst of this show, and I'll just hear her laughing in the background, being like, "God damn, this show is so absurd." And I know there's those people who like to rip on this show. It's not Konosuba, it's not this or that. But I personally feel like most of those comments are very familiar to that of the Mappa hate for Attack on Titan, where it's just like this very vocal group, but seemingly everyone that I've been talking with about this show, those who've been commenting, seemingly love it just like myself. So it feels more of like, oh, I love Konosuba, so I can't love this as much. For me personally, I'm enjoying this one just as much as season 1 of Konosuba. Now, obviously, I've seen more Konosuba, so I obviously like that one more just because I have more content, but in terms of, the one-for-one season, I mean, this show's actually made me laugh sometimes more so, especially in this episode. This is a hilarious show with a great cast of characters, the chemistry is off the walls, and for a situation where, logically, you can solve your water issues in a matter of minutes, but the emotional strain isn't worth it, so you go to a party where you're literally encouraged to seduce this prince so that he has no choice but to negotiate with you. And you go from literally making a fool of yourself by being way too sexual, both on Grimm's side, rained down on with water because her curse backfires. You have Snow with literally no shame. She knows her personality sucks, but she has a nice racking body. She often says as such. And then you introduce the demon section as literally Six and Alice are sitting in the distance. Alice is just contemplating how to deal with them in the most violent way possible, as Six is saying, "Why the hell does this bald fat ass seem like the harem protagonist when I'm sitting here with literally my dick in my hand?" And I'm like, this show is absolutely hilarious. I really enjoyed when the demon stuff got introduced, where our man doesn't even hesitate, literally grabs this child by the face and then seizes, number one waifu. He's like, "You know what? I'm gonna tackle you. Bring me some handcuffs." This man has no chill. He's absolutely vile in so many ways. But the situations that he gets himself a part of, you never truly know how far he's going to push the boundaries. And personally, now this is just how I was feeling. When he was getting up to basically slap his dong on this man's head, I thought he was just gonna piss on him. I thought that's what was gonna happen. I wasn't expecting, literally an armrest, and I was like, okay, this show's escalation in dirty comedy never fails to make me laugh. I really enjoy it. And I like how, surrounded by all this absurdity, you have a protagonist who's literally actually combat ready, so when, stupid things happen, he can grab demon lords by the face, or he can summon in a vehicle, he can summon in a tank or a giant machine gun. He's literally able to be very, very skillful. But his humor and his no-chill attitude gets him into even worse situations. And honestly, having him, start up a war is, the best thing ever. While, of course, there will be civilian casualties, and that sucks, the show isn't necessarily about getting you connected to the average everyday citizen. It's more of getting you connected to the core cast, and the core cast is going to be just fine. And I like that. I like how this episode was really supposed to take the worst of the humor, and I say worst not as an insult, it's just, when you're slapping dicks on heads, or you're literally just trying to feel up this old perverted prince because you want to get married, it's the worst type of humor, but it's the best type of humor all at the same time. And I liked it. The whole party sequence was hilarious, from just the horrible eating habits to literally the amount of flirting And to just see the escalation of literally this man just not even in the same mind zone as he was before the party, it's a little suspect, I'm not gonna lie. It's a little weird to see that happen. But the idea of just like the flirting between Snow and Hsieh and how they were both like, you know, who has the bigger rack, who has the best face, even if our personalities suck, who's the more attractive one. This show is so good. And I love how no matter who is the main focus of an episode or scene, they're all equally memorable. I love Agent 6 and how he's just from the sidelines looking at this absurdity, and each one of their interactions is equally awful and hilarious, but then when he puts himself into the situation, he somehow finds a way to surpass them and what they were doing at this party. I've said it before and I'll say it again, the only one who has any chill and composure is Alice herself. She is a wild card for sure. She's fine with literally stabbing Grimm in the back as Agent 6 drags her away because she knows she can come back to life. She finds so many brutal ways to take care of situations, but she's the only one who actually behaves. Even if, in the case of, say, well, last week she did completely destroy the literal devil, she still, in general situations, is the only behaved one. It's just when it comes to anything supernatural, that's when you can't really take her anywhere and you need to keep her in the car. Just keep a window crack down so she doesn't overheat. I love this show. I mean, maybe I'm the oddball out actually in the anime community. Maybe this show isn't for everyone. I constantly see people on social media like talk shit about it, but then when it comes to people like actually watching it, seemingly they're enjoying it. So I don't know. It just feels like a really weird community situation for this show. For me personally, it's just as funny as season 1 of Konosuba. That's not me dissing Konosuba, I loved it. I've constantly said that it's one of my favorite comedy anime and one of the easiest rewatches I've ever had for a show. It's just, this show's amazing, and I guess on the flip side, the one saving grace for the new situation that Kadokawa has itself in with the number of anime that they plan on producing going forward, getting second seasons for shows that may normally not get second seasons, I mean, it seems pretty good all things considered, so I wouldn't be surprised if in a couple of years we do get a season 2 of Combatants will be dispatched. I feel pretty confident, not necessarily because of popularity or financial success, but more so just because of the number of anime they want to produce. Eventually they have to come back to these shows and give it more adaptations, and honestly, that's exactly what's probably going to happen with Konosuba itself. But overall, this was hilarious, it was vengeful, it was dirty, it was perverted, and they somehow find a way to make characters all the more scummy, while making us still want to come back to see how they're going to escalate it even further. The fact that we have a princess literally unable to say a phrase because she doesn't want to, and she keeps getting these missions, everyone is equally stupid in a lot of ways, besides maybe Alice, but even she has her moments for sure. Let me know your thoughts and feelings, favorite moment. I feel like a lot of people are going to talk about the whole dick thing at the end of the episode, but if you have other favorite moments, definitely let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, share your support, and hit that subscribe button if you happen to be new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.